but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if the Uber starts beeping, they might as well just be a jitney. I mean, they should do a jitney app. That's what they should really do. But okay, wait, I don't want to start talking. Let you talk.
All right. So you ready? All right, we go. Peace. This is the Ask Your Old Head podcast with Justice Raji, with my guest, my good brother, Knowledge Bill. Also, Knowledge Hudson.
Knowledge Bill Hudson.
Knowledge Bill Hudson. Peace.
Knowledge Hudson. Knowledge Bill Hudson.
How are you today?
Huh?
How are you this morning?
I'm doing good, God. Peace. Good morning. You know what I mean? I'm doing well.
That was a super spicy moment to throw you off because, So we're going to get started with the way we started. Give you an opportunity to give some reverence or love. Say somebody you want to give a shout out to. So let's start there.
Oh, all right. Oh, a shout out. Man, I misunderstood. So let me
make sure you join it straight.
Oh, all right. Peace, pardon self. I don't have a mic stand, so, I got to get back on that mic.
Yeah, there you
Pause. Go. So I want to give a strong shout out. Damn, that's a good point. I thought that you were saying who do I want to shout out, but I'm gonna give a shout out to my old earth. So my old earth, she returned to the essence a couple years ago, which in our culture means you passed away. And the reason why I wanted to give her a shout out is because of all the hard work that she did. You know what I'm saying? And she was just so driven. You know what I mean? And when you're growing up, you're like, okay, well, that's just what it is. You take it for granted. That's just how a person is. But when I start to compare my drive and my motivation and my sister's drive and motivation, and to other people that see okay, people who are certain ways, usually because they had a certain type of a foundation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I just want to give her props because of the role that she played in my life as far as being that example of go, 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 go. You have to work in order to get ahead, but also to just get ahead of yourself, because it's not just so much getting ahead of the society or whatever, but, how do you improve yourself daily? So she helped me in a lot of ways, and so I want to give her some props, yo. Right. You know what I'm saying? Peace. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Me. We're going to keep it super spicy. Yes, keep it super spicy on the Ash Your Old Head.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. You already know. As far as your mom, she always showed us so much love and so much. Just everything about it. So I'm right there with you.
Oh yeah, word up.
So we're gonna get right into it.
Let's do it, baby.
Right, so give me a standard, a principle, value, something that you try to practice in the world that you think is important around how you move through the world.
So, so something to me that's important that I find myself doing is one point in time I would say giving back, whereas later in life I learned that it's pay forward. And I've always been like that, and so I recognize that that's something that's important to me, is ensuring that the people who are coming up next have more than what you did, or that they have that they have a better set of glasses, if you will. You know what I mean? And so it's we go through life getting our lenses, like basically just going through life dealing with certain experiences, and you get certain things on, you learn certain things, you grow. But it's how do you ensure the people that's coming up behind you don't have to go through those same hits? So it's teaching them which way to go and which way not to go, and everyone's still gonna make mistakes. And it's how do we ensure that we could get better from generation to generation? So to me, it's important. And I said, I've been like this since I was young, man. When I was probably, I might have been 12 or 13. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? 14, and I always hung out with younger people, even though it's 3-4 years younger than me, 2-3 years younger than me. But I was always trying to share, you know what I mean, and give to those young folks, and So to me, that's something that it's a part of my life, and I think is important, and I'm sharing it with y'all because I think that if you do that, then it's, and I'm not saying in lieu of your own growth, right? Because sometimes we're trying to save the world, we don't save ourselves. You have to save yourself first. Your oxygen mask comes down first.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Put it on your face first, fam.
Yep.
But yeah, that's something that's important to me, and I think, yeah.
All right. Is there anything that you would give as advice to someone who wants to maybe be that to practice that value? Any like just one pointer you would give them to help them be, because sometimes we say, I want to do that too. I want to be that kind of person. But then the way we act, we ain't that type of person. Is there anything you would want to let somebody know to be mindful of if they intend to be able to pay it forward to others?
Yeah, I think that, so there's some simple ways, right? You can actually give money, right? Mm-hmm. You can give money to other people. And I don't mean like, random folks. I mean like you can like, save money and donate it to a cause. Mm-hmm. You can, identify a young entrepreneur and give them $100 towards their business, right? Mm-hmm. You can actually support people's businesses, I think too, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Okay. Supporting people's businesses, or even donating your services or time, right? Depending on what your business is or what it is that you do, right? Because as people, we have so much to offer that we don't recognize. So it could be like, it doesn't always have to be like advice or being a sage or blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. It could also just be like, hey man, I do business plans. Let me check yours out. Or this weekend, I'm going to be, reviewing people's business plans for free, or, updating people's resumes, or, maybe not updating them, but giving them feedback. Yeah. Because once again, like, I think that it's important that you as an individual are healthy and balanced, right? Because if you stressed out, it's difficult to help someone else. So you got to first ensure that you're at a level where you are okay. Mm-hmm. But even as you're striving to get better, because it's, perfection is a path. It's not a place. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you're always going to be trying to get better. But I think that, giving back can happen in many different ways.
All right. Peace. Second question.
Yo, go.
Yeah. So relationships broadly defined. Can you share something that you do differently, you do now that may be different than what you may have done when you were a younger man? And that's love, work, professional, civic, feel free to respond in a way that...
I'm more patient and I let it go. Mm. Right? I think it might have been you that taught me that, or maybe you or Shaq King that said, I think it might have been you though, the next day is a new day, right? Mm. So like try not to hold on to things from yesterday, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, doesn't mean that, so that's there's a lot of things, right? Yeah. That's one. I think also the expectation factor, mm-hmm. like, not having a whole lot of expectations, but just watching people. Like I just pay attention, and listen, because, people will send a representative for a long time, fam. Like their representative got layers. Mm-hmm. It's like, who are you? Like where'd this person come from?
The representative got a representative.
Yeah, your rep got a rep. It's like, damn, this is a hell of a sales pitch. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So the hell of a lead. I'm gonna have a lead. So I'm patient and I watch, and I try, and I'm really I try to be intentional about having healthy relationships. And first and foremost, trying to have a better relationship with myself, right? So, I think for a long time, in that same vein of paying forward, I was a giver, trying to help everyone. So that could be unhealthy when you're trying to like pay forward versus like trying to help everybody, mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? And I wasn't helping myself, or not that I wasn't helping myself. That's not fair. I wasn't taking enough time to myself, mm-hmm. and learn how to say no, right? Like, nah, I'm cool, right? You know what I mean? Like people, you sometimes like, people, you think that that the world ends or something. Not maybe that extreme, but that letting someone else down ruins a relationship, mm-hmm. or that you have to be everything for everyone. No, just be you, man. Shit, you can't do it. Wait, can I curse on here?
Yes, you can curse.
Oh, all right,
you can do it. I'm saying what you want to say.
Yo, I'm just saying, like,
Thank you, I appreciate it though, Fred.
Yeah, I'm about cursing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've heard your podcast before, but I just never even thought about that. like, what is this? What's going on here? The knowledge is cursing like a sailor. But no, yeah, no. So yeah, so it's just like just letting people be who they are, and not having certain levels of expectations for them, because people are people, man. They're gonna fail. and they're gonna fail you, right? And if you put so much into them, then you will feel some type of way. Versus just letting them be who they are and just watching them go and working on you, fam. Like shit. Now that I can say, I'm saying all the time, shit. No, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like work on you for real. Like you get further along, and if they can run with you, let them run. If they can't, then it'll be like, all right, it'll be kind of obvious later. You know what I mean? And that goes for family, and it go because I think it's much healthier for me to not invest all this energy into someone and then be like, damn. Like Zaire taught me, and I'm probably gonna misquote it because I said it a little differently, I think. But it's like, blessed are those who don't have expectations for others, for they'll never be let down or disappointed, if you will. So it's like if you don't have no expectations, you'd be like, oh, that was cool. A word, you can't come? Psh, okay, right? First, I hope you come. Oh, they ain't come, man. And here you are in your bag. So relationships healthier. That's the goal for me. Is just like I have healthier relationships. In the past, it wasn't like that.
Wasn't like that. We don't gotta talk about that though.
Did you just go on?
I went NPR voice.
You did. I mean, and I'm over here all hype, like.
You know what I mean? I went all mellow on you. You know what I mean?
It's not like that.
Not like that. We don't gotta talk about that.
Is that a way of trying to get me to calm down?
No, I'm just messing.
I was just joking.
Anyway, super spicy. Yeah.
No, I was just thinking how when people tell you to calm down, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm already energetic, and when people tell you to calm down, and I mean, you know, for some reason it seems to be like white people that do that.
Yeah.
Like, please calm down. Like, and I've had to tell people, like, that's something that white people do, man. Like, don't tell a person to calm down. That usually makes them get more hype.
Right.
I mean, I was being facetious when I said that to you, but I'm just saying.
No, but yeah, I know it's the idea. Like, first of all, I mean, I'm cool. Like, if you're uncomfortable with my comfortability, I don't know what we're going to have to resolve this some way. But I don't need you to let me know that I'm all right. I'm going to make it. You know what I mean? I'm managing my energy as I manage it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real.
Let's make that up.
First off,
this
guy's over here. This guy's over here doing breathing exercises
for the listener,
on the mic.
You don't understand this. You have to do this to him because he's snappy. I gotta work with him. So
snappy.
So knowledge. What's something that's just really important to you right now in your life or in your world? Just, gotta be everything. That's all.
No. Something that's important to me is economic development.
Okay.
Right. On a personal level, like, how do I gain equity? How do I be a better owner? How do I become an owner? I mean, I have a business. I want to become property owner. And like, how do I amass enough, gold, if you will, or access to capital or resources so that I can be more impactful, so I think it loops back around to paying forward too, right? Mm-hmm. In a sense that, there was a person, and I learned a lot from other people apparently, but there was another person that, I won't mention the name, but I worked with nonprofits a long time, and their goal at the same time was like, they wanted to get a lot of money so that they could become like a foundation or have a family foundation or like, be able to like get a lot of money so they can give back in mass. And I was like, damn, that's a good point, right? And I was like working jobs and now getting paid a lot of money, giving my heart to make these changes, but I didn't make enough money to like take care of myself. So it's like just like pivoting to think through how can I be how can I improve my skills so that I can ask for a certain amount of money so that eventually I can have enough money to maybe invest with other people to have larger levels of impact. Like as like, as black people are poor all across America, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And, there are some people that have money, but I think I read that the highest mean or the average income for black people, the area first was in the DC area. And the number was $40,000. That was like the average,
the median
income, right? Mm-hmm. So that's not a lot of money, $40,000, right? And that's the highest across. And I think the next one was somewhere in the New Jersey area. It was like $28,000, the median income. That's sad. Well, I shouldn't say it's sad. It's eye opening. Mm-hmm. It's eye opening, and it just makes me realize, like, okay, despite the people that do make a lot of money, there's a lot of people who don't.
Yeah.
So to me, economic development is important because of that. Like, how can I help? Like, once again, how can I help another person become wiser, how to make better decisions? So eventually, I haven't started. My first goal is to try to buy property, and I'm pretty close. And once I do that, well, of course, I'm going to try to buy more properties. I have this brother who's going to help me try to buy more properties. As far as like sharing information, where I can get low, interest-free loans that I can pay back, because the property I'll buy will have enough equity. I have enough equity in it over time to be able to use that. You know what I mean? And I have another person who's going to help me learn how to do stocks, right? Because we don't learn it. No one really learns it in school, but it's like if your parents know it, or if your family knows, if you have that uncle who just gets it, and he's able to share it with you, then you could learn it. But so that my thing is to be that uncle for people that are close to me, and learn those things and just try to share them, or just be the example too, right? You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean be the example like, because I've acquired these resources that I'm going to show it through a car and jewelry and things like that. So then make you look at me like, oh, how do I do that? Because that's the way some people do it too. But it's just through conversations too. Because sometimes the people who have a whole bunch of money, they don't present it like that. You know what I mean? So, willfully I succinct. That's clear.
That's peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having the resources to do the things that you need to do, right, and to serve, and even when we and it's one of the most challenging things I find, even having sometimes a dialogue with people, like, well, that person has lots of money and they should be able to do like everything, and it's like our relative understanding of like, not to say that there shouldn't be more distribution of the wealth that's in abundance that's around us in this world. However, also, sometimes our ask of those who do have a little more is like, there's actually not enough for that individual to like subsidize everybody, right? We need more systemic changes and systemic things, tied in with our personal decisions. You know what I mean? And so that's just my add-on to what you said. You know what I mean? But it's hard out here. And in this city, here in Pittsburgh, to where I live in Portland, to wherever the listeners may be, it's it's hard sledding at times. So
it is, and also one thing that I've been striving to learn is how cities work. You know what I mean, like bureaucracy and how cities develop. So like even like in these last couple of years, I've been working in the field of community development. And gives me a different perspective of how cities, the operations in cities, as well as the growth in certain communities and neighborhoods. So when I'm thinking about economic development in that capacity, it's like, so what store do you bring here that's going to have an impact on this block? The whole gentrification concept and conversation, that is just it's a very touchy subject. But if you take one step before gentrification, we look at neighborhood change, like what caused that neighborhood to change before it was gentrified, or how do you create in a space where you do positively change a neighborhood or an environment that doesn't force people to have to leave, but also attracts the people that's going to be able to invest the tax dollars and the resources that are needed in that space. You know what I mean? So it's like this fear of poor people causes some folks to want to just get rid of them, so that maybe their strategy is to create raise the rent so they leave, or that's just that person who owns that building that wants to make more money now that they can. You know what I'm saying? So there's just so many different. It's like it's not an exact science, but it still happens, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so I'm not in any position to do those things. Like, well, if I'm a homeowner, if I have a investment property, which my goal is, eventually I could be able to do things that have an impact on people. However, I don't see myself. I'm not in the position like I'm not the head of the URA or something. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not like the head of a nonprofit development company that's coming through and just about to buy the whole block and just move everyone out. I'm like, what I can do is just have conversations to learn or share, and then also share with the residents or the community about this is what's happening, and try to make them aware, just aware of it, and let them know their power in a position in that situation too.
Word up. Well, we need it.
You got a great radio voice, man. You got a
Oh,
great
thank
Majestic does too. When I listen to y'all podcast, man, y'all was over there being like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all was it was like
Knowledge.
It was like smooth in the morning.
So, good segue.
Okay.
10 minutes of knowledge. What should people know about 10 minutes of knowledge?
So 10 minutes of knowledge is primarily an interview show, which I interview people who are doing dope shit, and it started when we were doing the Juice Crew podcast. We had a little collaboration. You know, I use that let me just step back. I say little, and I'm not belittling the thing. That's just like sometimes people do here in Pittsburgh. And sometimes they are trying to play you like, you got your little business over there. You're doing a little thing over there.
Your little pancake house.
You and your little pancake house. But I say it about my own stuff, so I don't want to like downplay what I'm doing. But no, we had initially we had a juice company, right? And then we called ourselves the Juice Crew 412, and as our medium to communicate with people. And so it was 10 minutes of knowledge. It was Black Man Green Plan, and it was three things. By our illustrious brothers. And 10 minutes of knowledge, we were part of our podcast. We were drinking, and we would just jump on the mic. We would be not just drinking and jump on the mic. That's not fair. We would have drinks while we were on the mic. You know what I'm saying? With guests, etc. And so when my intro, if you happen to listen to it, you first could find it on iTunes. If you search 10 minutes of knowledge, and that's 10 minutes of knowledge, you'll have like 10 minutes of knowledge, right? And I got that from, I didn't get that, but I was inspired by another podcast, which is no longer on the air, which is kind of sad, under, I think it was Black Television, something, BTN, I forgot, Black Tech, no.
I think I know which one you're
BT,
talking
that's
about.
funny, Black Tech Nation, shout out to Kalani. But no, it was from BT, it was BTN something, and it was a whole bunch of comedians, and they had this show called As a Black Man, and so I have been listening to that podcast earlier that day, and I was drinking. I just jumped on the mic, and that was my intro to my own podcast. And my name is Knowledge Bill. That's my first name. Knowledge Bill Allah, Knowledge Bill Hudson, and so someone pitched me the idea to do 10 minutes of knowledge, and so. Because it's small, it's punchy, it's short. You listen to it when you're driving to work or whatever. And then the other thing is the irony, like 10 minutes knowledge, because the folks that I would interview would always have more to share, right? Yeah. So my goal was to have people who had a wealth of knowledge who I would allow them to share what they knew. So it was usually between 10 and 20 or 17 minutes long interview, just, what they're into, giving them an opportunity to highlight what they're doing, and also share with my audience, because somehow, I guess, just going through life, I've met a lot of people, and I maintain those relationships. So it's like, how do I connect cool people that I know to the other cool people that might listen?
Yeah. Well, I always enjoy 10 minutes of knowledge, and your boundless energy is fun, and I think you do a great job of just getting a little piece for folks, right? And then you can go. If you want more, you can go maybe look into what that person that you're talking to does, and maybe you can find out more or learn more about them. And I think it's a good thing. Yeah. And I want you to keep doing it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I did season 2. So season 1 was on the Juice Crew 412 on iTunes, and then season 2 you can actually search as 10 minutes of knowledge.
Oh yeah.
I've done about 14 episodes on season 2. Then I've taken a little hiatus. The person I was working with on the technical side, there was just snafu after snafu after snafu, and it's just like, whew, it becomes a little draining, because I'm like, I have a job, a business, and a hustle, right? Yeah. I have my full-time job, I have my business, and then I bartend as my hustle, right? Every now and then, back to economic development, right? So it's like, it's difficult to do that and then have my podcast if it's not clicking. Like I need it to be, and that's why I really respect what you do here, sir, because you're like a one-man band, like, one-man army, a son. Okay, I know your name's Justice Raji. So I'm just saying, it's like you're a one-man army, and the fact that you choose your guests, you have your platform, you have the online platform, with the dope photos, and you know what I'm saying, the write-ups and the blogs, and great interviews, and then you edit this stuff yourself too. So it's just like, man, this is you're doing a great job, man. My hat's off to you. So it's just like, okay, I have to be able to take the time, similar in the dedication that you've put into your Ashy Old Head. I remember back on our first podcast when I thought you said Ashy Old Head, which I thought was so funny.
What's funny though is Other people, you know, they actually, did you say ask your old head? And I got to go ask your old head. I don't make no show call, but that's funny. No. So it's cool.
But yeah, no, but I mean, it's a profound thing because people don't ask their old head. They don't ask no old head. Yeah. They don't ask nobody. They just be out here, doing it.
I'm gonna do it by myself.
Come on, son.
You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with doing things yourself. But, you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's a good chance you might know somebody that can go, well, if that's what you're gonna do, you know, make sure you get the medium, not the large. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. You know what I mean? You know. And you know, keep it moving from there. Word the big bird. So, you know, we on a tight time schedule. So I'm give us one, you know, this is a music question. This is a new one I've been crafting, so we'll see how it lands for you. Is there either just something from the world of music that a record or a song that maybe you in the past felt one way about, and now when you listen to it, you think about it differently?
Man, who are you? This is deep. I don't know.
Caught you off guard. Didn't prep you for that one.
That's okay. Well, you know, me and music is interesting, just in general. You know, I have such a great experience with different types of songs, and some of them I don't know the artists, names and things like that. You know, so yes, you did catch me off guard as far as it relates to what song that I would that I think of differently than in the past than I do now. So recently I've been going back and listening to SZA, and Capleton, and I think now some of the lyrics are a little bit more clear. Right. So there is a song by Capleton that I've been listening to kind of frequently. Let me just try to find the name of it because I don't want to jam it up. But it's like it's not so much the lyrics speak to me and things like that. It's just like, oh, that's what you were talking about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, I don't know the name of it right now. I might be able to pull it up real fast, but I might not. Ha ha ha. It's Who Dem, right? So Who Dem by Capleton is a song that I definitely am like, whoa, that's what you were talking about. Like I didn't understand all the references. I think it was Majestic who was talking to me about like me, Majestic, and someone else, Knowledge Divine. You know, really having a deeper dive into, you know, culture, and made me go back and just reevaluate, you know, SZA. Well, I was already listening to SZA, but maybe like go back and listen to Capleton again. Oh, okay, bet. Right. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Well, yeah, but also, if I could give another one, it's like Freddie Hubbard, Red Clay. Mm-hmm. I've always liked that song, or even, I think it's Black Angel. I like that song as well. So it's like, Freddie Hubbard, you know, jazz artist. Yeah, you know, so it's like, there's no lyrics there, but it definitely hits you different. Like, you know, hits me a little bit different. Why I gotta keep saying pause about everything? But no, it just, it was funny because, never mind. So yeah, so I respond differently to the sounds now as an adult, or older adult. Like listening to it, it's like, interesting. It's like, you know, smooth. Yeah. Like Justice Raji's podcast.
Smooth. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, you know, I think one of the things, music especially, you know, sometimes I think is that music can capture feelings and kind of conceptualizations around like how we're thinking about the environment that we can't always maybe say in words alone. But you hear it in a song, you be like, yeah, that's how I feel right now. Or, ooh, man, that changed the way my day was going, you know, hearing that energy of that song. And that's why music, I think, is always important, drumming and playing, you know, doing something musical with other people. You know what I mean? That energy sometimes I think is really old. You know what I mean? There's an old energy in terms of being humans that, you know, you can tap into it the right way, you know. Hopefully you get something good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like you can curate, you can have such an impact on someone's life by playing music. You know what I mean? Like I woke up, you was listening to some dope music. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You know what I mean? Trying to get the morning off with the right foot, as I would say. So, word up. So, Nas Bill.
Peace.
Peace, God. I love you.
Oh man, love you
My
too.
man. Man, we just gonna tap out. I was gonna do some other stuff, but we're not gonna do it. What I was gonna say, you got. Well, let me give me the knowledge face. Anything you want to say on the way out?
Oh, thank you for listening to this dope podcast and
To the listeners.
to the listeners. One thing I want to say is you control your destiny, fam. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, remember all this it's all within you. You know what I mean? Your thoughts have so much power. So it's very important that you evaluate yourself and take time to evaluate your thoughts, because your thoughts are the foundation of your life. And so, your actions are the next step. So choose wisely and be wise, man. And don't be afraid. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail fast. The goal is to fail as quick as possible and then pivot. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? So, go hard, young. You know what I'm saying? Keep pushing. There's no limitations, but the only ones are the ones you create for yourself. You feel me? And if there are limitations, take time to think about how to get around them, under them, or through them. You understand? That's how I see it. That's my thoughts.
Well, I think you said it best. With that, I want to thank you for joining me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for sharing your home with me.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for being my brother.
Yeah, well, thank you, sir.
This has been the Ask Your Old Head podcast with Justice Raji. My guest, Knowledge Bill. Peace.
Peace.